Greetings of peace, love, and light. This is Goddess Nanu, and I am here in the Light Body Sanctuary. So, today I just want to share a little bit of information. We are still establishing the pillars of the Light Body Sanctuary, and this is the continuation of that series. Now, today we're going to talk about how to respond to spiritual attack. There's still so many people that don't know how to respond to spiritual attack. Now, anyone who has spiritual insight or is sensitive to things in the spirit realm or other realms, other dimensions, they're more aware of when they're being attacked spiritually. But some people aren't aware. They're completely clueless. They don't know they're being attacked. They don't know that they're being used. They don't know that they're being drained like a power source. They just don't know. So first and foremost, I want to encourage anyone watching this video to first and foremost increase your awareness. Okay? Increase your awareness. That's a whole nother video on how to do that, right? But I want to encourage you to focus on increasing your awareness. Your intention of doing that will be helpful to you. Okay? Ask the Spirit, ask God to help you to open your eyes, open up your senses so that you can see and experience reality as it is, and not a desensitized version of it or a false version of reality. Now you can go back and listen to the What is Reality videos. That might help you a little bit, okay? Alright, but we're focusing on how do we respond to spiritual attack. So those of you who are sensitive enough and can sense when you're being attacked, or maybe even when you're about to be attacked, how do you respond to that? Well, first you need to know who, what, and why. Okay? Who, what, and why. And you need to be able to determine when did this start. Okay? Because sometimes when people become aware that they're under spiritual attack, sometimes it's in the middle. It might even be close to the end. Okay? So you need to be at the point where as soon as something starts to touch you, you are aware of it. Okay? So again, we're talking about awareness. Awareness of what's going on in your kingdom, in your aura, in your space. All right? Because a lot of people are just completely ignorant to what's going on. And so you don't know why you're responding like this. You don't know why these things are happening in your life, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes you're just under attack. Okay? It's important to be aware. So, anyway, let's increase our awareness. Obviously, the Spirit wants us to focus on that. Let's increase our awareness. Okay? That's so powerful. There's so many tools you can use to help you to strengthen your senses, your extra senses, not just your regular three-dimensional senses that require your physical body, but you have other senses. They're parallel. You can smell things in the spirit. You can smell a spirit. Yes, you can. Spirits carry smells. You might be able to see it. You might be able to feel it. Okay? You might be able to hear it. Everybody who's schizophrenic ain't just, something wrong in their brain. Okay? It might be a combination of both. But, people do hear spirits. Okay? People do hear people. You can hear, if you're telepathic, you can hear people talking about you, or what I'm saying, talking to you, if y'all can communicate in that way. Anyway, I don't want to get too off topic because I know there is a various amount of people watching this from diverse backgrounds. Okay, so if you want to go deeper into some of these topics, you have to meet with me in the Light Body Sanctuary or schedule a session with me, which you could do through my website. And the link will be in the description, okay, or my bio. All right. So moving on from there, because I want to try to keep these videos as short as possible, and we're already at 5 minutes. So moving on from there, increasing your awareness, strengthening your gifts, your senses. All right, like you are clogged up, so clogged up with so many toxins, spiritual toxins, physical toxins. But we're not going to get into that, and that keeps you from being aware. So once you are aware and you know that something is attacking you, you have to know the when, what, and why. Okay. So, how do I find out the what, when, what, and why? Again, you need to be aware. You have to work up your sensitivities, your gifts, strengthen your spirit. Okay, these are not things that just magically happen. It happens through practice and discipline. Um, and some people have natural gifts as well, or God-given gifts. You can ask for these things too, and it will be given to you. Anyway, moving on from there. So the what, when, and why. And why is that important? It's important to know the what, when, and why. Because just like in real life, if somebody attacks you, okay, you you need to know who was attacking you so you know how to respond. Okay, if it's a baby attacking you, you're not going to respond the same way as if it's this person who's much bigger, much stronger than you are. You're going to respond differently in order to survive or in order to eliminate that individual. It requires a different amount of force, if that's what you want to do. Or maybe it's just something that you need to help to get to where they're going. If it's a baby, and they just need help, they in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they might need help. Okay, they might not even understand what's going on. So just depend on where you are first and foremost, and what it is attacking you. Why is it attacking you? And when did the attack start? That will help you gauge how you need to respond. Okay, because there's so many different ways to respond. You may need to respond by ignoring it or ignoring the person. Okay, you may need to respond aggressively. It just depends on what it is. Okay, some things you just need to resist. Some things you need to respond aggressively. Some things you just need to give them instructions. Okay, they might just need instructions because you have authority over the earth. You're supposed to be ruling the earth. You're supposed to have dominion. Okay, so if you have dominion, that means you have the power to command things. If you have power, depends on if you're walking in your power. Now, if you're not walking in your power, you can't all of a sudden use power that you ain't walking in. Okay, because how do you even know how to use the power you're not accessing it on a daily basis? That's why discipline is important. That's why honing your skills is important. That's why aligning yourself with your creator is important. Okay, because you leave yourself defenseless if you're not tapped into your power source, if you're not walking in this on a daily basis with daily disciplines, meditating daily, praying daily, fasting on a regular basis, connecting with spirit on a regular basis, then you won't be able to respond appropriately when you are under spiritual attack. So, how do we respond to spiritual attack? First and foremost, you prepare yourself. So you know that you're going to be attacked. This is a given, okay? You are going to be attacked, all right? And the brighter your light is, it's like a moth to the flame. The brighter your light is, the more the moth's going to come. And you have to know how to shield yourself, okay? So proper preparation is the most important thing, okay? So first and foremost, you need to know what to do to even prevent spiritual attack in the first place. There are things you can do and put in place to just prevent the attack in the first place. Okay, so I'm going to have to wrap this up because my son is calling me, and that is my first assignment. So, that being said, Um, as far as how you respond to spiritual attack, I think that's the most helpful thing I can say, because there's so many various ways, and some people think that okay, this is the only way, but sometimes the way that you respond can actually be the opposite of what you need to do. So, and that may be why you keep constantly being attacked, because you don't know how to respond appropriately, and you have not properly prepared your environment. Just like in real life, you set up security measures. Okay, you have proper boundaries in place. The same thing in the spiritual realm. Same thing. There's so many ways you can be attacked in real life. I don't want to say real life because the spirit realm is the real life. But in the physical world, there's so many ways you can be attacked. Same thing in the spirit. Same thing. And there's so many ways to respond. But proper preparation is the best mode. The best code of ethics is the best way to set yourself up for success. All right. And so I'm going to close out with that. Peace, love, and light.